Hey, how you guys do? You ready? In the mixtape.
I think the thing I hate the most of recording everything is that I need to make like an introduction. Like I don't know how to do it. It's like it I don't like it.
We don't have
But
to. We can just get into
Yeah,
it.
let's just get right
yeah,
into
okay,
it.
it would be nice. Okay, so well, Nate, Rachel, welcome to elMixTape. This is a podcast that in which we talk a little bit about your how you started in music and anything that comes into the conversation in between that theme. And at the end, we just ask you for to do like a little dance. Now, kidding. No.
Oh man, you got my hopes up. I was like,
Now, some
go.
recommendations. You got the chance to. I mean, it's not like, but you have the chance to drop like anything you're hearing, watching, reading, whatever. So we usually start like from the beginning, and I would like to know one by one how did your childhood sounded like if you got to make a childhood mixtape, how would it sound, who what bands will it include, or yeah.
Uh, uh, Definitely Beatles, Led Zeppelin, but probably also Backstreet Boys and Linkin Park.
So those are your like particular memories in bands, but do you have like a history with music, like because usually there's like these cases of people growing up in like in a family of musicians.
I grew up playing music with my family. My father is a bluegrass musician, so I grew up surrounded by bluegrass music.
Yeah, and what was your first approach to your father's like did they like the Beatles and all that stuff?
Yeah, yeah. He Most of the music that I listened to in my early childhood was chosen by him. You know, he,
Until
until I started just finding my own stuff. I think at some point in high school I found the album Washing Machine by Sonic Youth, and I showed it to him. I was like, "Isn't this cool?" And he was just like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
and what about you, Rachel?
um, I, I didn't. My family loves music. Like my parents both love music, but they don't play music. But I grew up listening to America's Greatest Hits. The album was on CD by the classic rock band America. I guess like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Probably when I was like 10. Avril Lavigne was really huge for me. She's was such an icon. I used to make my mom sit in the car when Complicated would play until the song was over. I think though the first time I was like exposed to like live music in a way that made me realize that you could play music was at like my parents' friend's house in Michigan. I think it was like somebody's cousin was like brought like a piano and a guitar and he was playing that song Smackwater Jack, which like I like also like loved that song when I was a kid, and it was like the first time that I realized that you could play music.
How's that? I don't get it. Like,
I mean, I
what
grew
was
up
before
going
that?
I grew up Catholic, so like I grew up in church, so it's like the
Okay.
music that like I would participate in was like singing in church. But it didn't, or like there was like you could join the choir, and then there where there were people who played music on stages, but like that that's reserved
Yeah.
for people who can play music on stages, and it didn't occur to me that I could also be somebody who did that until we were like in this house and he was just playing instruments, and I was like, whoa, like I could learn how to play guitar, like that's so crazy.
And did you start playing at that moment?
It was pretty soon after. I think I won a raffle for guitar lessons. I'd like really briefly taken piano lessons like at my local park district, but you know, I was a rock and roller for life, so I really just wanted to play guitar.
Okay, before we move into all of coming next, I want to know what does your T-shirt mean, because it looks it looks cool.
It says, "I don't want to cook anymore. I want to," and then it's like a plushy version of Remy,
Of
the rat
Ratatouille,
from
yeah.
Ratatouille, which is like one of my favorite films. Definitely my favorite Pixar movie.
And
up
you
there
made
with
that
my
shirt,
favorite
or-
French no, I found it, which is crazy because this is everything I want on a T-shirt. Actually, I didn't even find it. Nate found it.
I found it.
Yeah, Nate found it.
And I was like, Rachel,
Yeah.
you're gonna want this
Because
shirt.
this is like exactly how I feel like every day, and it's my favorite movie. So
Yeah, it's all you. The only thing missing could probably be the hat.
Well,
but
yeah. Well, but the rat doesn't wear the hat. The rat is under the hat. We
Oh,
could
yeah,
really
he-
go into the depths of the plot of that movie. First of all, the rat's name is not Ratatouille. It's Remy.
yeah.
Secondly, the rat doesn't wear a hat. The rat lives underneath the hat,
that's true.
pulling the hair.
He never wears a hat.
I think he wears a hat at the very end when he has his own restaurant.
I don't.
Not
remember
to spoil the movie. Oh my god. Ooh.
But no, that's even not true, because he never wears a hat.
I think
Because-
he has a tiny hat at the end when he's like peering in the window and the. I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm so sorry. Spoiler alert. I'm gonna ruin Ratatouille.
I mean,
for
it's
everybody.
Ratatouille. It's a movie from 2008.
When
I
he
mean-
when he's like goes up the little stairs to look at the through the window
Yeah,
at
his
the
little
food
window,
critic,
yeah.
I think he's wearing a little hat.
I don't remember that.
But I will say that most of the movie, the majority of the movie, he's not wearing a
He's
hat.
not wearing it. Yeah, he's not wearing it.
Because they didn't make hats for rats for the whole movie because rats couldn't cook. They were not allowed in the kitchen. But at the end,
Yeah, he was like controlling.
yeah, he was controlling the heat.
What was the name of the guy?
Linguini?
Linguini, yeah. So you're a huge Ratatouille movie.
I'm like a
Fan.
huge, like one of my favorite French films for sure.
You're calling it French film because it's not a French
That
film.
and, you know, the Jean-Luc Godard, Ratatouille, Agnes Varda, like, up there.
There is even I mean, always the Pixar movies are surrounded by a lot of conspiracy, and I don't know if you heard about those theories of
The Pixar universe.
there's a lot of stuff going on in there, and Ratatouille is they say like Gusteau, that it's the dead chef. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, but yeah, because you know the YouTube policy with those words like the D world, the this is gonna be censored, so no problem. But yeah, I think they're not allowed. You can't even say in
Oh,
like-
yeah.
You're not allowed to
can't.
say-
no.
you're not
No.
allowed to say.
No.
Wait, but that's
Yeah.
crazy because it's life and.
Well, it probably depends
No
on
context is-
on the way you're using it.
Okay, so you
Because if you're talking about medical themes, well, it's you need to say the
Right,
word,
right.
But if you're saying it like,
like,
I think you can even say
like-
like I'm not you. So there's like some
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
words that you can
Oh,
say.
interesting. So we can't refer to him as the chef.
you
In
no,
the
you
children's
can't. No, no,
film.
no. Well, I don't know.
What if we're talking about that movie Soul, where the whole movie is about just being.
Well, I mean, you can probably skip the conversation about soul.
Interesting.
I don't know. I think I think it depends on the context, on the way you're
Okay.
using it, because I mean you're talking about key stuff. Because I mean it's
We're gonna beep it, so.
yeah, but whatever be the case. But yeah, I've heard that they say that Remy is like the soul of Gusteau or something like
Oh,
that.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff going on in Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Even this thing that they appear like the the bowl. There's always that Pixar bowl. The Pizza Planet
Yeah.
truck from Toy Story. It
Mhm.
appears in all the movies and all that stuff. It's pretty weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
they say, they even say that they're in a like in the full timeline that.
Oh, interesting.
So
I
yeah, so yeah, that's for your shares.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my. Oh. I guess are we not allowed to?
No, I think that's cool. But okay, so you guys grew up listening to rock, as we can tell. Like, so do you remember the exact point where you wanted to pursue a career in music? I mean, you discovered in that.
I didn't
Not
actually.
part
I didn't discover I wanted a career in music.
No,
I
no,
just
but
found
you
out that I could play
you kind
guitar.
of start digging out what's on the other side of hearing music, because there's I mean, at least for me, there was a point where I didn't realize what was behind that. I mean, you just put your headphones and listen, but you never think that there's like a whole history behind. So do you guys remember the moment where you decided I can make money from music, or I can dedicate my life to music?
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
There was a episode of the TV show Doug that I saw when I was like 5, where they started a band, and that was pretty much it. I didn't really have a plan B from that point on.
So you put everything into it.
Yeah, I was like, that looks sick. He's just hitting a trash can and calling it a band. I can do that.
So you discovered it 2 years ago.
I guess like 2.5. When we started going on tour.
So even before the long days, no dreams.
I like went to school for film and television. Like I wanted to be a screenwriter, specifically like for television. And so I spent pretty much from when I was 12 to 22 with that being like my ultimate goal. And then yeah, after I graduated, I was like, wow, I'm gonna work in a restaurant forever. Like I'm definitely never gonna be successful doing anything creative. And then yeah, and then COVID happened immediately, and I was like, actually, it doesn't even matter because the world like, is over.
it's gonna be world.
Yeah,
Right?
I was like, all right, well, actually, like, now I can't even work in a restaurant, and it doesn't matter whether or not I'm achieving my dreams. And then I worked in film for, like, a full year full-time, doing, like, freelance, like, production work, like, on set, mostly commercial stuff, but, like, as a production assistant, occasionally, like, in the lighting department. And then, yeah, and then we got a booking agent, and then he was like, you guys are gonna go on tour, and I was like, whoa. Okay, like, I could be a musician for money. And now we're here. I guess I still don't have money, but...
Well, it's a start. It's a good start. So, when did you guys meet each other? Like, when did the idea of when you I don't know, found for where to say Rachel, does it came to mind that episode of those? And you say this is the moment. This is the girl.
I don't know. Maybe if you had more like Skeeter vibes, but you don't really. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
we met in 2015.
15.
I was a senior in high school, and Nate was a senior in college.
Yeah, I think so.
And we started running around the same circles in like the underground music scene in Chicago. And then we started dating. And then
And then we started a band.
yeah, like a year later we started a band, and then a year after that Nate moved to New York.
And then we stopped dating.
Yeah, then we stopped dating, and then we kept doing the band.
And here we are.
So you had a first band in both of you before.
Yeah, technically you played in my band first.
Yeah, I actually played drums, or I played bass at first in Rachel's.
You
Yeah.
did play bass first.
Yeah.
That one cursed show that we will not mention.
One curse.
My
show.
very first show was pretty bad. And then you played drums.
Yeah.
And you recorded all of, like, my
Yeah,
album.
I was recording a lot of bands at the time, and
And Nate was in, like, 3 different bands at the time. Nate had you had your solo project, your Cornstar, and Opposites.
yeah. So Water from Your Eyes was it was like a side quest thing.
So-
at first, you know.
Yeah, Nate showed me New Order, and I was like, this is so awesome. Oh my god. And then we were like, what if we did, like, an EP without being like, we're gonna start a band? It was more like, what if we made an EP, and then we did that, and
Someone wrote about it.
and yeah, nobody had ever written about anything we did, so we were like, whoa.
And we just kind of kept at it slowly.
Yeah, and then once Nate moved to New York, then we started playing a lot live, because I'd already been living in New York for 2 years. And when Nate moved, and we, like, had played a couple shows in Chicago, but it was never, like, a consistent thing. And then once Nate was in New York, then that kind of became the main thing we were doing. Besides, I was in college, and also, I guess, we both still were making our own music.
Yeah. That's kind of when the band
and
began to make more sense.
And I want to ask about you this only because it's good for a clip, but you said you started dating at some point of your first project, and because how do you manage to proceed and to do music right now with that thing happening? Because I mean,
we get along. Way
Honestly
better now.
made it so much. Breaking
Yeah.
up was the best
Yeah.
thing that ever happened for this band. I
Yeah.
would say, if we had kept dating, I think the band would have.
yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean, there's when you see like a
I just don't think we were gonna keep dating.
No, we weren't going to keep dating.
it's like I think it's like a cliche, but when you see like a boy and a girl band, usually people think like very specific things before getting into what really is. And I don't know, usually people could think you're brothers, you are dating or something. So yeah, and I think it's a pretty good point, because I don't know the specific story, but Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
That was messy.
Yeah.
This
So-
was all simpler than that.
Yeah, the much simpler than the Fleetwood Mac. None of us were on cocaine or married.
Yeah.
But that's also an interesting theme. But that, I mean, I've heard that when these Stevie Nicks and it's Mick Fleetwood.
Yeah,
Well, when this
Stevie
breakup was happening, the
Lindsey
four
Oh,
members.
Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah, but Buckingham, yeah. When this thing was happening of the breakup, they launched Dreams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can we talk about these feelings in music? Because when you hear that album, it's like you can really feel probably what they were feeling back
Yeah.
then. And I've got this when I started listening to Water from Your Eyes, it made me feel like a lot of things. Not all the songs, I think they have like sadness. There's like a pretty mixed feelings in the music. But how do you describe the way of printing feelings in your songs?
I mean, a lot of the time it's more abstract, but then sometimes it's very straightforward. Like the first song on the album Structure, When You're Around, is a song that I wrote for Rachel, and that was pretty much like a we're breaking up, but everything's gonna be okay song. But most of the time it's just the lyrics are way more like wordplay, like
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of our early music, actually from when we were dating, was much sadder, because the purpose, I feel like, at that time was to write specifically sad songs. Like, that was what we were attempting to do. And then there's an album that I guess is kind of like the point in which it felt like it became what it is now. That like it was partially abstract and then partially songs that Nate wrote by himself because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't. We were breaking up and then I feel like after that, like our first album Structure, besides that one song When You're Around that Nate wrote, it was the first time that it felt like we were writing music that felt more honest emotionally, that like was coming from us personally, but didn't, I guess, like wasn't necessarily like specifically sad. It was kind of just more like
So-
emotional.
And about this being honest on the songs, how do you guys work that process on making music being honest?
Well,
like-
my solo music is way too honest, I would say.
It's
like,
the thanks for
for
coming,
coming,
right?
yeah, it's like way too honest. I feel like I'm like way more used to like when I make music by myself saying a little bit too much about what I'm feeling. Or
That's fun. I feel like both of our solo projects are like that, where we're singing things that we would probably never say to anybody.
But you
Yeah.
got it to say it in your songs. I haven't
Yeah.
got the chance yet to hear. This is Soleray?
This is
Oh,
Lorelai.
it's Lorelai. Yeah.
Lorelai, and
Thanks
thanks
for
for coming.
coming. But I feel like with the Water from Your Eyes music, like the emotional core of it isn't necessarily tied to anything specific, but is rather like I guess abstract in the way that like the human experience of emotion is abstract.
Would you consider it as a playground?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a playground.
Yeah, that's actually what I usually say when I'm like writing the music. It's like creating a playground for Rachel.
Yeah.
to,
So that's a
Monkey
process.
bar,
You
yeah.
start the song and then, I mean,
Yeah.
it could depends on the song,
It
right?
depends on
It's
the
not
song.
like all the time it happens like that.
Oh, all the time, no, Nate does make the music.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I show up and then I go, this is awesome.
Yeah, then
Or sometimes I go, this isn't awesome.
yeah, and then my job's done. Then it's Rachel's job,
Yeah.
and
And then I
Rachel
write
writes words, and I'm either like hell yeah, or I'm like try something else.
and whenever, I mean, it's probably happened already, but when you make a song that you like, but then Rachel says like, this is not cool, how do you feel about it, or how do you proceed with that song, or the other way, when you write the lyrics that probably Nate doesn't like?
We've gotten pretty good at compromising,
I feel like,
and like
yeah, there definitely was a point. I feel like like our system is like pretty figured out now where I don't think Nate would show me stuff that I don't really like.
it took a little while to like figure out how we worked the best and like to what point I should develop ideas before passing them on to Rachel. I tend to just kind of obsess, and usually if something hasn't worked out, it's because I already did too much, and there isn't really like room left, which I've gotten better at
Yeah.
not doing that, I think.
But I feel like, I mean, there's like very few times that I'll be like, oh, like I'm not really sure about this drum sound. I think that's happened one
I-
time
when did that happen?
with the from the new album when I was like, I think it should be electronic drums
Oh,
and
yeah.
not.
Oh, sorry, I never changed it. Wait,
Quarter that?
oh yeah, I guess. Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
did
yeah,
change
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
You
Oh,
listen to
That's
me.
true. Yeah.
And sometimes Nate will be like, this line is bad, and I'll, because it like won't sound right, and I'll be like, that's fine. But sometimes Nate will be like, I think we should change it, and I'll be like, I think you're missing the vision.
Usually, if you know, if Rachel's doing something that I'm like, I don't know, then they're either like, then Rachel will be like, either okay, let's change it. But if Rachel is just like, no, like I do know, then I would just like, okay, I trust
Yeah.
What
you.
was the thing with Out There? What were we arguing about?
Oh, I thought the word sprawl was too much of a mouthful.
Oh yeah, and
But
I
it
was
turned out,
like,
but it turned out
no,
fine. Yeah.
no. It was like, we need the word sprawl.
Well, and that's why it's, that's when working that way together, that's one of the things I've had to get better at is because by the time I'm showing it to Rachel, it's something that I've been kind of like living with for a couple months. And even if I don't really write anything, I've developed some sort of
Yeah,
idea of
yeah.
how the vocals are going to sound. So it always takes me a little while to get used to
To know that
to
thing
the new
you
words
imagine
that
like.
aren't
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And I want to know where does the name "Water from Your Eyes" came?
Yeah, well, for my head,
Yeah.
Well,
Tears for Fears was already taken.
Tears for Fears.
do you like
Freaking-
the name of Tears for Fears?
Yeah, I
Great
mean,
band name.
yeah, I love Tears for Fears. The thing was, is when we came up with the name of the project, it wasn't because we were like ever imagining it to be like, this is our band. It was just like, what is the name of this project that is like a New Order ripoff?
Rip-off. It was just supposed to be one EP.
Yeah, it was like sad,
That's all, now all
like
this.
sad dance music. So it was just like Water from Your Eyes seems also like it seems apt and also not taken because at that time it was like we needed the Bandcamp URL.
Yeah.
So Water from Your Eyes was not taken yet. Neither was Thanks for Coming. Actually, that was got it
That's pretty
quick.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, I mean, I think the name of a band makes like a big impact, right? And usually there's like some stories behind. I right now it doesn't come to mind one in particular, but for example, I think Elton John, he grabs the name Elton from a friend or a neighbor, and then John from
Is his name not Elton
no,
John?
his
No,
name's
no,
not.
it's not.
I mean,
What's his name?
I think he already changed it.
It's something like really
Legally he
normal.
already changed it, but when he was born he wasn't Elton John.
Oh my god.
Reginald Kenneth Dwight.
Yeah, Dwight. Yeah,
Reginald
Whoa.
Kenneth Dwight.
You know what? That's pretty hard. That's brutal. Elton John sounds better.
yeah, absolutely. But I think right now, as I say, legally he changed it right now, but he extracted the Elton from a friend. I'm not pretty sure about that. If you see the movie Rocketman, it's not a promo, but I've heard it's good. He takes the name from, and yeah, the name from a band or for a project can came almost from everywhere. So I don't know where does the Tears for Fears come from.
Tears for
Do you know? Can you
Oh, no idea where they got that.
it rhymes, so
Yeah.
maybe Dr. Seuss.
I mean, the funny thing about a band name is there is like the first time someone hears it, they'll be like, "Oh, like a band name," but by the time, like at a certain point, it just begins to mean
Yeah.
that band. Like I don't hear the band name Modest Mouse and think about a humble mouse.
Yeah.
I think about that band, and the same thing is just like. It's like what, like the Beatles? It's like the
Yeah,
stupidest
it's-
band name
yeah,
I've
yeah,
ever
it's-
heard,
it's
but
a-
it doesn't matter because
It's an actual. If you thinking like way too deep, it's a bad name for a band.
It's a
I mean,
terrible
the
name.
Beatles is like
It's not even spelled right.
Yeah.
all the best band names are bad, and that
yeah.
it's-
The
and it
Doors,
doesn't
for
matter,
example.
like-
I mean, the Doors is like where does the name the Doors come from? It's
I actually know this. It comes from it's short for the Doors of Perception, and comes from doing acid. I can't remember the author. It's like a book or it's a book, I think.
But yeah, it's like a name you didn't expect to have like that impact. And
Well, and they had it so easy back then because like none
There-
of the
there was
band names
nothing,
were
right?
taken. No, there's nothing like that left.
Yeah. Wait, what's Fleetwood Mac is Mick Fleetwood and
And John McVie.
John
Yeah.
McVie. Yeah.
yeah, so okay, that's it from the name Water from Your Eyes. Because well, yeah. I now I want to talk about this. Well, I don't know how to put it on the table. Well, let's start. Are you excited for Corona?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
You guys are playing on Saturday.
Friday.
tomorrow.
Friday, tomorrow, okay.
Yeah, opening up the stage, opening up
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah. I think
festival. I guess.
okay, yeah. And how do you feel about that? Is it your first time at Corona?
Oh
It
yeah,
is,
definitely.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm stoked. I can't wait. I'm also just like really excited that I don't have to spend like the whole day watching bands I like being like, "Ugh, God, like we're gonna have to play. Like I feel so sick. Like I'm gonna immediately get off stage and be like vacation mode.
and you said you like New Order.
My thing though is like if I see New Order, like I want everyone to be there. Like I want everyone. I want the original lineup.
You don't want it to. You don't want to be by yourself.
No,
Or
I'll
what
go
does it
by
mean?
myself.
Ah, okay, I get it. You want to see all
I
the.
want the original lineup. Like
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
want
Yeah.
this mishmash.
Okay.
You want Peter Hook. To
I
be
want
there.
Peter Hook to be there. I don't want him to not be there. I'm
Yeah, it's the thing with those bands that
yeah.
it's a lot of them. It's hard to watch them like in the original lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I want everyone to be angry at each other on stage.
So, I just realized you told me that this whole thing of Water from Your Eyes started from a New Order
Yes.
thing. So, I mean, I'd like to ask this because even you when you started to mention the music you grew up with, you started directly with the Beatles.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's a big deal.
Paul
but
McCartney?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
having
a huge deal. What
I
do you
mean,
mean?
having your name with New Order, the ones who kind of
Yeah.
push you to do this. Paul McCartney, yeah.
I guess I'm gonna be real. I love New Order, like truly one of my favorite bands. But I haven't really thought about it because my mind's been on Paul. I've kind of only been thinking
And
about Paul.
are you watching? Are you gonna be?
Are we gonna?
at
Yeah, I'm
Corona
gonna go
at
see
some-
Yeah.
Paul McCartney. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Paul McCartney. What are we gonna do? Not go see Paul McCartney?
So, even talking about McCartney, you're sharing the lineup of Corona with him, and you shared. I like to call it like the biggest stage in Mexico City, because you already played at the Zócalo with
yeah.
Interpol, and you probably know, but McCartney played there too with it's 120,000 people.
I think it was more.
I'm not sure.
I'm
That's
pretty
what.
positive it was more because I think
But-
he drew more people than Interpol, and Interpol drew like I think 190. Was
Yeah,
that it?
190,000 was the
I mean,
official
it's-
stat that I
Yeah.
saw.
Well, but when Paul McCartney did this, the Zócalo concerts were not like a big thing like they're right now. I mean, they're bringing right now to the Zócalo pretty much more bands than they used to, because I think McCartney's it has to be on the three first ones that did it. I think we had a Bieber, Roger Waters, and
Rosalía.
no, but antes.
Antes.
Yeah, and then Paul McCartney. So it wasn't like a big deal like it's right now. So
Whoa,
right
wait.
now making a Zócalo as Rosalía already made one, but right now it's like more people gets to know that it's happening, and back then I don't know which year it was, but yeah, it was completely different. So
Do you think we played to more people than Paul McCartney?
Sounds like
yeah, I think it was 120,000.
Whoa.
I'm not sure, but yeah,
That's
I mean,
fine.
but I,
If I ever get to meet him, I'm gonna go. I played to more people than you.
so when how do you guys got to how do you guys receive the notice that you were playing like in that place? Because I don't know if you know, I write it, but the Zócalo, it's very important in Mexico because a lot of things happen in there. I mean, talking about even the pre-Hispanic times, the
Aztecs, yeah.
the Spanish conquest, even there the independence of the country was how do you say, proclaimed?
Yeah.
So how do you felt back then when you got the news that you were playing like a
We almost said no.
why?
we had a show scheduled.
Yeah, we had to cancel a show in New
Yeah,
York.
we had a show scheduled on the exact same day in New York that we'd already agreed to. Like, Interpol's management had, I think, kind of reached out like 3 weeks before.
It all happened very
It was like
quickly.
really quickly. Like, we knew we were playing Corona Capital before we knew we were playing at Zocalo. So
Oh,
yeah, like
that's
we'd
a-
gotten the offer for this festival before, so it was like really quick, and we were just like, ah, it seems like a lot of work. We'd have to cancel, and then we were like, well, I guess it's like probably never gonna get asked to play like this big of a show again. And we were like, okay, like I guess we're gonna have to do it.
It felt like a once in a lifetime opportunity. So
I mean, it was
It was-
a once in a lifetime opportunity.
if for no other reason, just playing that close to pyramids,
Yeah.
which is
yeah,
something that
they were
we-
down
Yeah,
there.
and then finding
Crazy.
out that it's because we didn't know anything about. I like knew that the show was happening and it was gonna be crazy, and then when we got asked to do it, we were like, okay, well now we're gonna do this crazy show, but we didn't like know really anything about it. So then when it was like, oh, it's gonna be in the center square, and it was like it's like the historic center, not just like the center of like It's not like you're playing like Times Square or whatever, like or Rockefeller Center.
Yeah,
Actually, where we
yeah,
would
yeah,
play.
like
Um,
you're talking as
like-
a historic center,
like
like
the place that people have been gathering at for what thousands
Yeah.
of years. It was just like, I mean, that's probably the coolest. Oh, it's easily probably the coolest place I think we've ever played.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally so close to pyramids. If they let us play Stonehenge, that'd be pretty cool. But, I don't think they'd. I don't think they're gonna let
I
us
don't
do
think
that.
I don't think they got the infrastructure.
So, I mean, yeah, it was kind of just. I feel like it was before it happened. It was like none of us could really think about it too much because it was like Nate was moving.
Yeah.
We were all just like, okay, I guess we're gonna do it. And then we were like, well, I feel like once we got off stage, we were like, whoa.
I didn't get the chance to go to that concert, but was there a lot of people?
Yeah.
Not even I haven't even watched. I never watched the
There are
pictures.
more people there than think if you combined every show we've ever played, I don't even think we'd make it to like 25% of how many people were there. Like, also just like, I've never been. The US doesn't have anywhere that you could fit that many people like at once. Like, there's just nowhere. I don't think anywhere that could gather that many people. So like to be in a place, it was crazy. It was really crazy. There were so many people. Also, it's like a beautiful square, so it's just like this beautiful square and like a bunch of people, and it was like, whoa, like.
And the you guys were expected that amount of people? Did someone warn you?
Somebody
that?
told us it was approximately going to be 150,000.
Which
But
is,
we don't really know what that means.
Yeah, I mean-
It's like
It's like, I don't-
150,000. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't even think I could imagine what 10,000 people.
Look like?
Yeah, like, I have no idea. Like, we'd never played to. I think the most people we'd played to was maybe 3,000 people at that point. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, it's like-
and then our sound check was probably 3,000 people. And we were like, I was like, there must be 500 people out there. And someone was like, that's like 3,000 people. And I was like, this is the biggest show we've ever played, and we haven't even gotten to
We're
the
just
show
sound
yet.
checking.
Yeah, we're just sound checking.
And how do you feel the people when you were playing?
Everyone was so nice.
Yeah, they
Yeah, I mean, no
they
one.
treat you kind.
At least like there wasn't a bunch of people booing, which I think like if there were enough people booing, I guess you could have heard it. So maybe there were a couple, but mostly it was like people were excited and like clapping. I think I don't know. I don't like actually remember the show. Like I remember like very little parts about like what it actually was like on stage. Watching Interpol was, I think, more memorable because it was like 160,000 people just like singing along.
Yeah, and I mean, Interpol, it's a huge band, but have you ever got the chance like to be in like in a massive crowd singing like everyone the same song?
Not that big.
I think the last time that it like yeah, definitely I've never been in a crowd that big. I feel like the last time I was in a crowd where it was like, yeah, we're all like really in this moment was during Feel Good Inc. At the Gorillaz out of Primavera.
What?
Feel Good Inc. The Gorillaz song.
Oh yeah,
That was like the last time I was in a crowd where I was like, okay, we're all just like really deeply into like having like a similar shared experience. Because I feel like with crowds that big, it's really hard. Especially most of the time, like crowds that are that big, it's not just to see one band. It's a festival, and it's kind of people are like, okay, well, like my friends are gonna be at this stage, and it's like not everybody actually knows the songs or even the band, or some people don't even I think know who's playing.
Yeah, I mean, it happens a lot at festivals.
Yeah, so
but
like
one good thing is that usually, I mean, of course they're not gonna sing, but because they don't know the lyrics of songs, but they try like to.
Well, I feel like when a song is like a perfect, beautiful song, like Feel Good Inc., you can just like I feel like it's like something that it's like everybody knows that song, which I think is really hard to do. I think it's really hard to have a song that reaches so many people at once.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you're gonna have the chance to, if you're watching Paul, you're gonna have the chance to feel that, because even there's, I think his set list is he rounds like a 32 songs or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's long.
But there's one yeah, people knows the Beatles song, so yeah, that would be cool. So do you have the chance to watch our toys?
Too.
Oh. So Feel Good Inc. guy right there.
I mean,
yeah.
you just say the Feel Good Inc.
Yeah. Oh yeah, somebody once can I see that one? Somebody on Audio Tree said that I looked like this one.
Yeah.
I think they meant it in a derogatory way. But I think they're pretty cool.
I think they're cool.
I still think that person was trying to be mean to me though.
Okay, so now I want to talk about this EP that you dropped of MP3 Part 1. That the four of them are covers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you got to choose these covers?
It's just something that we like to do. Rachel likes to do karaoke. I like to study and try to recreate sound things. And so it seems that every couple of years we just make a big batch of covers.
Yeah, mostly songs that I just think are really.
Because there's this one, I mean, I think it's a pretty famous song, the "Someone Like You."
Yeah, by Adele.
I think it's a pretty good cover. I think it's
in the style of the
it's
Cure.
it's a vibe that song needed to. So how did you choose that song specifically?
I love Adele. I love that album 21, and she covers a Cure song. She covers Love Song on that album, and I guess I quite literally maybe was doing that song at karaoke when I was like, we should cover this song. But I was just like, it'd be so fun to cover it in the style of The Cure, because she covered The Cure.
Yeah, his style, hairstyle.
Yeah, so yeah, I told Nate, had to show Nate The Cure.
Somehow I had avoided The Cure until that point in my life.
I mean, I don't blame you. There's a lot of stuff of music going on out there, and it's hard.
There's a lot of music.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Cure is great, though. Love The Cure. But yeah, so I don't know. I just was like, Nate, make me this song that I can sing. And then we did
And
it.
we did it. I think that cover got made at about. Or wait, did you recorded the vocals to that like at your house, at your apartment?
Did I?
I think so.
I don't know.
I
I
think-
remember being in the room though when you were making the instrumental.
You were. I think you redid the vocals later at your
'cause-
house.
Yeah, probably. 'Cause they probably sounded bad.
Yeah, I can't remember.
This. When did we do Stepping Out?
That was on the first.
Oh, that was on the
cover
first one.
album.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did that at my house. I don't know. I guess maybe I did do it. I don't know.
Okay, so it all started with The Cure, with Love Song.
It started. Well, it started with Adele, but then it was well, I guess it did start with The Cure because Adele covered The Cure, so I guess it all goes back to them.
And I want to talk about two of this song. The I don't know if it's your most streamed one, but it's Adeline.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know this band called Concrete Blonde.
Concrete Blonde. I don't think so.
Well, there's a song of them that it's called Caroline, and I don't know, but for me, I it's a thing. If you want, you can hear it, but it feels kind of like a part two of that song of Concrete Blonde, and I think it's a beautiful song, Adeline, and I want to know what's behind that song. What were you doing when you were in the process of making it, if you remember, because
Well, so that song was one of a couple. When I first moved to New York, we made an album called All a Dance very quickly. And I was just like, that was so easy. Let's go, let's go. We tried to like make another one really fast. And it ended up not working, but we kept a couple of the songs. That was one of them. So that song was sitting around as without lyrics for
Yeah.
a long time.
I think the idea though, when we did write the lyrics, was it was like a song about a mysterious woman, as many
Yeah.
songs are. It's funny though, because we were, the show Over the Garden Wall. It's like an animated mini series.
no,
It's awesome.
over the garden.
Yeah.
Over the Garden Wall. Nate showed it to me actually when we like had first met, and I think we might have been. Maybe we weren't rewatching it because I named it after a character from that show just to find out that that's not the character's name in the show. It's Adelaide.
Oh, so
But Adeline, I think it worked better.
Yeah,
for the
Adeline
song.
is
Yeah,
a much better
it's pretty
name for
nice.
the song, but for a long time I thought that it was the other the show. The character's name was Adeline, but it's not. So, and then I don't know. I guess I don't remember. We used to smoke a lot of weed,
Yeah.
so I don't really. That was like kind of hazy at that point of time.
Yep.
Dude, I've heard a lot of great shit happening with smoking weed.
And I've yet to make any Water From Your Eyes song that has been entirely weed free. There's some that have been close, but
Are you trying to remember?
I mean, most of my some of those, well, some of them are from, I stopped smoking weed for like a year and a half at one point. We have a new album that will come out sometime in the future, and some of the songs are from before I stopped smoking. And then the really crazy ones are from when I wasn't smoking, but they all got finished when I was smoking again.
I stopped smoking, so not for any reason. Well, actually, I stopped smoking because Nate stopped smoking, but then I just never started again.
Yeah. To be fair, it's not like I picked up where I left off. We used to smoke a lot of weed. That was like a big part of Water From Your Eyes, especially like the lyric writing process. We'd just be like,
Yeah, just so stoned. But yeah, no, I don't do that. I guess I might someday.
special occasions.
Just makes me
Like,
anxious.
I don't know, Corona is it a special occasion?
Is it legal here though? No.
Not really, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it.
No, I will not.
I mean-
I will not do any crime while I am in the country of Mexico.
There's a-
for the record.
Probably it's like not allowed to talk about this, but I mean, it's not legal, and it's not allowed to put it inside the concert. But
But it is.
it happens.
there.
Yeah, it's there.
People-
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul McCartney's
Exactly.
got some. You know.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's at least in Mexico City, there's like certain spots, even in public spaces, you can smoke. So, well, I'm not
Wait,
inviting you
I
to
take
do
it back.
it.
If okay, the special occasion being Corona Capital, but like smoking with Paul McCartney. Like I would
Oh.
smoke weed with Paul McCartney legally.
Yeah, of course. Everything
Yeah,
on the
I
word of
would.
love.
I would drink a soda pop with Paul McCartney.
Soda
Yeah.
pop.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Yes.
So, I mean, congratulations for your Corona Capital.
Oh, thank
yay.
you.
Hope you have a great time and hope to see you there because someone very evil put you at the same time as Brigitte calls me baby. So I gotta make a tough decision
Oh, no.
tomorrow. So
Follow your heart.
Yeah,
we-
I'm not gonna take it personally. My
we're not-
parents are gonna be
yeah.
there, so it's okay. Like whatever you need to do.
There's a lot of music.
Actually, you know what? Not that people who schedule music festivals are evil. 'cause that's not fair. But I will say, like all the music festivals we've been playing recently, I've been pretty bummed because like we played at the same time as like Wednesday at Pitchfork. We played at the same time as Jackstrap, like another festival.
And then like separate from us, it's like there are usually two bands you want to see and they're playing at the same time.
yeah,
It's
but,
just like,
yeah,
why?
there's usually like a I don't know 15, 20 minutes difference, but
Yeah.
in your particular case of
You
Brigitte, Always Baby, and
I have
It's the same exact.
yeah, it's
time.
at the same time.
I have no idea how stressful it must be to schedule a music
Yeah,
festival. though,
yeah,
so
I know.
If any of those people are listening, like you're all good.
Yeah, again, I'm not taking it personally.
Yeah, they're starting to slow it down. But even last Corona, we had I don't remember the exact order, but it was Two Door Cinema Club, and like 20 minutes later, Phoenix started in another stage, and then the hypes and I in that particular Corona, I heard a lot of people yelling at that. How could
Yeah.
you
Wait,
do
was that
this?
recently or was that in like 2012?
No, it was last year.
Oh, well, that's crazy because I saw Two Door Cinema Club and Phoenix at Lollapalooza.
I think
2012.
there's like the same run that they did, and
Oh.
they stepped up here in
Whoa.
Corona. So to end this, just if you want to drop your recommendations, again it could be
Oh, right.
music, movies, series.
Megalopolis.
Yeah,
By
Megalopolis.
Francis Ford Coppola. If you want to see a film like no other, I've literally never seen a movie like that. That was so crazy.
I've heard a lot of that movie. There's like a
People hate it.
yeah, it's very divided,
It's
right?
my
Or-
favorite movie I've seen in a long
Yeah?
time.
Personally,
Yeah.
I think that it like, I like it has. It's like they talk about I don't know. They talk about like Marlon Brando changing acting, like that, like his performance in like A Streetcar Named Desire, like changed the way that like people acted in film. And I genuinely believe that it is similar. Like I have never seen acting like that. Like it's so weird. It's like just the most surreal, absurdist film, but it like has heart and it's like it's funny, but like strange. Like everything about it is bizarre. I
It's a
loved
movie
it.
with everything.
Yeah.
Truly, like everything
Yeah.
that I can.
Yeah, I've heard everything
It
about
takes
it.
like so many parts of like different like moments in theater and cinema and art and like history, and then it puts it into like a meat grinder. And
You
then
get what you get. It's like a sausage of history.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch it, but
it was so much fun.
there's the division in opinions made it a little bit hard to arrive to.
Here's my
to
take.
cinemas.
If a movie makes people so divided, you know you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Like it's gonna
Well,
if people hate something,
uh,
it's gonna be entertaining.
it depends a lot on the movie, you know, because there's. I mean, recently talking about recent movies, I've seen this divided division in Joker 2. I don't know if you already watched it.
I know for a fact that I would not think it was good, but I'd still have a good time.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you watch the first one?
I watched it twice, not because I liked it. I wanted to know if I liked it.
And
So I saw it second time.
And do you or you?
I think I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's well done. I just think that like there were so many points that it like could have that it, like they were almost like doing something really interesting with storytelling, but then like everything it would be like they would set something up to be like a really interesting commentary or like connections between like the world that we live in and the story that was being told, and then it would just be like, never mind. Actually, like he's just gonna be dancing down the stairs. I think that it's not bad. I just think that like it wasn't as bad as people said it was. Like I don't.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one like people also really hated, but I was like,
Yeah, I remember people.
Not as
were
much
like,
as the second one.
I mean, yeah, it's a musical.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was fine.
It was
I
a
watched
fun.
it, I was
one.
The
like,
first
Fine.
one was
Yeah,
fine.
it's
And the second one, I know for a fact I'll be laughing every 2 minutes when I'm like, yeah, I'm watching Joker to the musical. Like,
Well, yeah, that's. I never thought it that way. We're living in an age that we got the chance to see Joker do
to
the musical. Yeah,
exactly. Like Lady Gaga, Joaquin Phoenix. Like I don't care what's happening on screen. I'm giggling.
And the thing is like, let's be real, like, a lot of really bad movies are the most fun to watch. To bring it full circle, there's this really, like, horrible... I've never seen it in its entirety, but there's this really crazy knockoff of Ratatouille called Ratatouille. And it's like clearly made with like no money. It's this horrible computer animation, and
I think.
and
know-
I only
think-
saw clips of that, and I had a
I
great
think
time.
I've seen clips.
So I don't know.
One time in college, me and my classmates for our group project, we combined Ratatouille and The Graduate.
Yeah, but okay. So Megalopolis, and you both agree because you
We saw it together
said it
we
at
saw it
the
same
day
together,
time.
after the election last week. So it was kind of the perfect movie to watch when
Yeah,
your country
yeah.
is falling apart.
So I'll definitely want to watch it.
Yeah.
So what else? Music.
I love the new Porridge Radio album.
Which one?
It's the new one. It's kind of like many words that if I was smarter, I would have remembered. But I'm a moron.
But from who?
Porridge Radio?
Oh,
It's like a UK artist.
I'm really into the early to mid 70s era of King Crimson right now. I think if anyone has never listened to the album Red by King Crimson, I think it's a experience that anybody who values listening to music should really have at least once.
Yeah. I've been playing this game on my phone called Cake Match or something. Actually, I don't even remember what it's called. I just know how the app looks. It's just a game where you put pieces of
like the
cake.
three in a row, like when you need
No,
to
no, it's like I don't know. I think it's like a 5x5, and then like there's like you get little on the bottom of the screen. You get like little cake wheels where there's different slices of cake, and sometimes they're the same, and sometimes they're different. And then you put them next to each other, and then you have to make like a full cake. And I'm like addicted to it.
What's the name? Cake.
I think it's called Cake Match, but like I actually don't know. I got it when I was playing a different game. Like I kept getting ads, but I kept playing the ads to the point that I was like, I think I should just download the game.
Yeah.
Because like I'm
It
like at
happens
this
to
point
me.
like I'm waiting for the ad to come up so I can play it. I like love games on my phone. It's kind of my bread and butter.
Yeah, we usually don't ask about video games, but I mean because
A
I
video
don't.
game is a strong word.
Yeah.
Um,
So you play video games?
I play games on my phone.
Oh,
We
that's
spend
fun.
a lot of time in airports and like sitting in vans And like, there's only so much content you can take in from the world before you're like, I hate everything.
I did a full algebra course in the back of the van earlier this year.
Yeah. So like, I play a lot of games on my phone. Actually, Sam Fuckerino from Interpol, I remember when we first toured with them, I was like, how do you like stay cool, calm, and collected? And he was like, I play a game on my phone. I was like, that's awesome. I love playing games on my phone, so I'm gonna take this, run with it. You wanna recommend Survivor?
Oh yeah, Survivor, great TV.
It's a TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
reality TV. There's a new season happening right now. Yeah,
Okay, so
cool.
Sorry.
no, so this is a you drop it, and I mean, I usually revisit the recordings and got to write everything, and I usually watch it or read
Me
it.
too.
I haven't read it. They recommended us recently one book, and I haven't read it yet. But
book?
movies, I don't remember. It was some science fiction stuff, but I'm looking to read it. But yeah, that's how these recommendations work. So we're glad to hear what you are listening to, what you're watching. So yeah, that's this has been the elMixTape. So thank you for being here,
Thank you for
And-
having us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
and good luck in tomorrow's show.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're gonna have a harder time than us.
No.
Yeah.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how you guys doing? You ready? In the mixtape.